What's up, guys? Brallus here with the Seventh Sword. We
Yeah.
wanted to talk a little bit about our day one impressions of E3. I guess we'll start with day point five because EA Plays Conference was first before any of them, right?
Oh
So, what did you
yeah.
think about? Did you watch the EA Plays Conference?
The only thing I watched from EA's conference, I'll be honest, was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. That's it.
I mean, that's pretty much all they had to
That
show.
that's
I mean,
that's all. Yeah.
Apex Legends stuff was pretty cool. If you're into Apex Legends, I really like Apex Legends. Apex Legends. I play that with a bunch of friends once in a while. It's a good time. Pretty. We're all pretty decent. We get some dubs, but I mean, for the most part, that game really needed a content drip. And I think that they're doing right by that by releasing some cool stuff. So I'm pretty excited about that. But for the most part, I mean, Star Wars stole the show. But I was wondering where Anthem was because they have this Cataclysm event coming up that they announced. They completely wiped their roadmap. I didn't see any Anthem. All they did was they sat down with one of the developers for like 2 minutes, and they
Mhm.
just did like a real brief, like, "Hey, how you doing? High five. Cataclysm's coming. Have a good day," and they just got them out.
Yeah.
So that's
Cataclysm's
basically
on the
all it
way.
was. So yeah, so
Wow.
I was that kind of concerned me a little bit about the future of that game. But what do you think?
So I mean, I'm gonna comment really quick about Anthem and then move on to Jedi Fallen Order. So Anthem, I think, is unless BioWare can really pick up the pieces, I think it's going to go the way of Mass Effect Andromeda. I think Anthem has a little bit longer of a lifespan just because it is a games as a service, and Andromeda was a single player, with a multiplayer component, but mostly single player game with DLC planned, and then they nixed it just because of all the negative backlash. Because I mean, the only other thing I could think of is if BioWare removed their roadmap because they obviously cannot commit to it. They cannot deliver on that roadmap anymore. Whether or not they will release something else in the future, or if Cataclysm will be the end of Anthem if Cataclysm doesn't do well. If Cataclysm does well, then if everyone's playing it and they love it and it's amazing, then I feel like they'll keep continuing Anthem. But if it's just another meh experience, I think Anthem's done.
Yeah, one can only hope. I just hope that they don't do the Mass Effect Andromeda and just pull the plug on it, pull all life support. But we'll see. But
Yeah.
Jedi Fallen Order,
Jet.
Jedi Fallen Order, Rich.
So okay,
What do you think?
I mean, as I still have to go through this with,
Rich.
I still have to go through this with EA like glasses on because,
Yeah.
like the gameplay they showed, it looked like basically Dark Souls combined with Force Unleashed, right? So
Mhm.
the gameplay looked solid. The only thing that was weird is every time he would like use his lightsaber, he'd be like or something like that. That animation's kind of weird, but
Yeah.
the combat looked fluid. I saw skill points, so you'll be able to unlock new abilities, probably force powers, combo attacks, and things like that. I really like that stormtroopers are one hit, and then you fight
Yeah, I do too.
better enemies that are like more well trained, and then those are actually the ones that you have combos in combat with, and you do dynamic finishers on and stuff like that. I don't know how I feel about the main character yet. His face is kind of weird. I don't know. It just his, I get maybe just his
That
animations.
jaw.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but it almost looks like he kind of looks like the villain, like the villain in the First Order of the new Star Wars movies.
Hmm.
He looks similar. I don't know. He's got like the same like facial thing going on. So I don't know. It just kind of threw me off
Maybe he is a
little
villain,
bit.
Rich.
But
Maybe he is.
well, maybe. But my girlfriend said that she reminded him of Anakin. So
Maybe.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
But
I thought it was pretty cool. I like the combat. I like how it's just not doesn't look all I guess spammy. It's not like hack and slash. Like you just smash a button and then like Batman.
right.
I've actually played Arkham Asylum today because it came free on Game Pass, and I was like, oh, I haven't played this in a while. I'm gonna revisit. And I literally just sat there and I was smashing the X button down with one finger, and I killed like six or not. He doesn't kill people,
Yeah.
but I beat down like 6 7 people without even having to combo or anything like that. I just sat there doing that. So I'm really like that kind of stuff. I've been gaming for a long time, and I mean it's a fun game and everything. But I really want in my Star Wars game because it's like right here. I want something that's just like gonna like test you. I want a hard mode. I hope they have like a fucking like savage mode where it's gonna really push you to the test and really have to make you hone in your skills because Jedi Academy's combat was great.
And that's an old
Um,
game. And if it's
and that's an old game, and it still
yeah.
holds up because I just beat it. I just beat that again last month. But the combat was really cool. Like you have to worry about getting flanked. Lightsaber fights were genuinely difficult, even on like the normal mode. So like I really hope that there are Jedi fights. So they didn't really show any Jedi versus Sith fights. So I'm hoping
No.
that you do fight some Sith lords. I'm
But
assuming you will because
there's
they're all
that
over
guy
the
with that
place.
helmet in the original
So
trailer that looked kind of like a Sith Lord. And
yeah, yeah,
there's some cool stuff you could do too, like where he froze the bullet and then he pulled the stormtrooper into the bullet and then
yeah,
let it go. That's really
yeah,
cool. So I mean, I hope there's more comboing of force powers like that you can do
yeah.
later on. I
The
mean,
Kylo Ren. Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. It was
The little Kylo Ren
that was a
move.
Kylo Ren move. It was
Yeah.
exactly just out of that. But yeah, so let's not stick on EA forever, because honestly, that was, in my opinion, that
Oh,
was the best thing they had. They had the
I think
sports
I
games,
think
but sports games aren't for me. If you want to touch on those sports games, go for it. But I
no, I mean I like FIFA. Like I think the only sports game I play is NFL Blitz and FIFA. It's a personal reason though. I like those games because you actually have to control everything. You control the destination of the ball. There's no basically RNG like when in Madden when you throw the football, you just gotta hope that they're gonna catch it. And it's not like in FIFA, you actually control the direction of the pass and the shot. So I do like it. Do I care about FIFA 20? No, because I have FIFA 18. It's the same shit. So it doesn't really do anything for me. But I mean, good for them. I guess they're rolling out like their little FIFA Street mode called Volta, and it's supposed to be like street soccer, which is pretty cool. But if you're into that stuff, it's all you. But I mean, it's the same thing every year for me. I just and the microtransactions. We don't even get into that stuff, but
but yeah, like
those are just so
microtransactions.
predatory, and I just don't support it.
We could talk
So,
about, we can do a whole talk gaming thing about microtransactions in the future, but for now, yeah.
oh, we have.
Well,
Oh, we have.
we'll do, yeah. We'll
Yeah.
update
We'll,
it.
we'll skip that for now.
Yeah.
But so that was day 0.5. So day one was the actual start of the convention, right?
Mhm.
Was starting off Microsoft kicking it off with their almost 2 hour long press conference. Rich, Sony
Yes.
absent, Microsoft there. They came in wanting to drop bombs. They really revealed what 60 titles. I think 34 was it 34 of them are on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So that's
And then how many was it? Was it 14 or
including
something?
Outer Worlds is
Outer-
on Game Pass. I was
Outer
like,
Worlds
what?
looks cool. Yeah,
Yeah, they
Outer
wrote some checks
Worlds
for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Outer Worlds looks like the Fallout we've been wanting for a while. You
Yeah,
know?
it's they said that I was watching an interview with one of the developers, the programmers, and he said it was based on the lore, not the lore, but the same kind of universe as Fallout New Vegas. It's the
Yeah.
same developers of New Vegas. Obsidian,
Exactly.
so
Yeah, exactly. And well, and
they said
Obsidian
it's
was
got
the
that same
original.
vibe.
Obsidian was
Yeah,
the original creator of Fallout back in the day, right? The top-down one.
yeah, yep,
Yeah,
yep.
exactly. So that's
And then
awesome.
and then they made Fallout New Vegas, which was the most raved one I think so
Yeah.
far. Still,
Yeah.
people tend to like that game a little bit, so they're really pushing that Fallout New Vegas vibe and Outer Worlds, which is pretty cool. I was a little PO'd when they said it was an Epic exclusive for a while. So I know Microsoft wrote some checks to get that thing on Game Pass, which is pretty awesome because it's not a first-party Microsoft exclusive. So I was wondering how they got that, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to ask questions. I'm just going to be pumped about it.
That's
But
cool.
so, what do you think about Microsoft conference?
Microsoft Conference, I think, is right now the strongest one out of all of them so far, and that's really, honestly, that's not saying much, just because Sony is obviously not there this year, so they're able to say things like, we have the most games shown on screen on stage this year, because of course their biggest
That was
competitor.
shade.
Yeah,
That was
their biggest competitor is not going to be there officially.
salt the wound.
And then
Nintendo's on Monday.
Yeah, Nintendo's hasn't been at an E3 official in any like big official capacity outside of directs, for a while now, because of their big Nintendo Music debacle, I would have to say.
Which is sad because when we went to E3 a couple of years ago, they had the coolest setup. You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Like they had
cool.
the Xbox booth, which was a bunch of lights and like just some carpet, and then some game stations, and then some figures and stuff.
They had
Sony was the same thing. Then you walk into Nintendo, and they have a whole street with like all the street lamps were like
they have like a Nintendo Land over there.
Question mark boxes. Yeah, it was insane.
It was cool.
Which is pretty cool. But I wish they would do something really cool like that for E3. You just go balls to the wall because it'd be really cool. But
we got to see a From Software cinematic trailer for Elden Ring. I think that's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Where so that's George R.R. Martin combined with Hidetaka Miyazaki, so they're combining forces and creating a world together. No gameplay, but I'm sure, as we all know, From Software can deliver on gameplay. I'm not worried about the gameplay.
Not worried.
I'm just interested in what it's going to be and how it's going to differentiate itself from Sekiro and Dark Souls, and see if they're even going to push the envelope even further when it comes to action combat. Tales of Arise looks like anime Dark Souls, and I love it. It just looks like a lot of people are taking that style now. They're doing that behind, and it's not like Dark Souls invented it, but Dark Souls has definitely, made like
evolved
it, improved on it, and made it their own. And now everyone's going back to it and doing it, justice, I guess is the word. And it just. Tales of Arise, I just want to talk about it for a moment because I am a really big Tales fan.
I knew you'd be flipping shit.
I was texting one
of my friends Jay on it. I was like, oh, Rich is gonna lose his shit when he sees this.
So there's like,
oh, Rich.
Okay, so I'm one of the people. I'm actually excited for this change because Tales combat. I mean, okay, so it's gone through evolutions, but they've pretty much just changed like the camera angle. But a lot of the fighting felt very similar, which isn't a bad thing. Tales has always had really good combat with the arts and everything like that.
Yeah.
But they usually lacked, where they lacked the most was in their graphical fidelity in terms of like the way towns looked, the way they opened, like the fields looked, like in between areas, stuff like that. This game just pushes the, like, just from that trailer. I'm just going completely off that trailer at Microsoft's presentation. Completely changes all of that. Like the graphical fidelity has gone up immensely. I mean, I'm expecting now, like, I'm expecting basically Dark Souls level of like art design from this. You
Yeah.
know?
And you know what's cool too is that you know how I feel about those like JRPGs. It's really hard for me to get into a lot of them.
Yeah.
I did get into Nino Kuni 2. I thought that was
Ooh.
pretty good.
Did
Yeah.
you beat it yet, or are you just going
I'm
through it?
like, no, I'm like 20 something hours in.
It's
So
good,
I'm
isn't
pretty
it?
far in. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. But
Mhm.
you know how, because I don't like turn-based combat.
Right.
I just don't, I
Yeah.
just really, it depends on the situation. Like I like XCOM and what is it, Mutant Year Zero. I like those a lot. I like certain turn-based games, but for me, I mean, if it's turn-based and has a really weird story, like most JRPGs tend to do, I just kind of
Persona
like,
5,
doesn't
man.
do anything for me.
Persona
Persona 5,
5.
I haven't played it. I have no idea.
So like,
Nier Automata, is that how you say it? I didn't
yeah.
like that at all. I played it for like 2 hours and was like, I can't do this anymore. It was just weird.
Okay, so you just thought it was weird. You just didn't like the way.
Yeah, weird, repetitive. I couldn't read the map and I just wasn't in the mood for it, I think. But when I saw Tails, I was looking at it and I was like, this would be really cool if it had real-time combat. And I was literally talking to somebody in a chat about it, like while it was playing.
Tails has
and
pretty much always been real-time combat. So.
I know, but I never really played a Tails game before. Like I
Ooh.
raised one, but I never really like fully dove into one.
Okay.
But I was just like, they always just passed me by because there was other stuff coming out and never got to it. But I saw this and I was like, oh, this would be, pretty cool if it had real-time combat. Hopefully they stick with that. And then they showed the combat and everything. I was like, ooh, okay. So I'm interested in it. I thought that was really cool.
I mean,
but
yeah,
let's talk about fucking Keanu Reeves, Rich.
Oh, yeah.
Keanu Reeves was there.
You can't talk about Microsoft's press conference without mentioning Cyberpunk 2077 and Keanu Reeves.
No. That stole the show. Keanu Reeves.
That was a perfect moment. You think of all the cringiest things that have happened at E3, and then and this Keanu Reeves moment happens, and it kind of just is the antithesis to all of that, all of those.
Yeah,
cringy moments.
I will give Microsoft credit though, because they did. I don't really think they had any cringy moments on there. Phil got up there. He did his thing. He was like, I love Phil Spencer. I think Phil Spencer is the best thing that happened to Xbox in a long time. But I like his genuineness, the fact that he's making a lot of moves. That's my dogs. He's making a lot of moves to further the brand and help rebuild it after the launch of the Xbox One disaster. So I really like them, but I mean, they're pretty low. They're pretty low on. They're pretty. You remember that? You remember the E3 showcase? I forgot when it was when they were showing the Kinect. The guy playing it, he was doing like stuff like this, and then they were trying to show the bottom of the shoe.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, oh, turn around.
He's like,
and
now,
see the bottom of the shoe.
Yeah.
He's like, now you'll see the bottom of the shoe.
Yeah.
And he lifts his foot up, and his character on screen is like,
yeah. I think it was like, you ever wonder? I think it was, you ever wonder what the bottom of your avatar's shoe looks like? Well, now you can know. And he's like,
he's like, and I was like, oh, well, there we go.
Yeah.
Someone activated no clip mode in the background.
Oh my god, that was terrible.
But Cyberpunk was really cool. I am disappointed that they didn't show any gameplay after they showed like 40 minutes not too long ago. I'm like, where's all the gameplay?
Right.
I'm like, it worries me because I feel like that what they showed before is something that they're like, well, wait, we can't really deliver that. Like, I'm just burned because of Anthem and because of Fallout 76 and all the stuff that they promised. And they showed that wasn't at all what it was. I'm just afraid, but it is CD Projekt Red.
It's CD Projekt Red.
I think it's going to be good.
I think the reason why they didn't show any more gameplay because they said that even since that alpha footage or whatever they showed, they've already drastically improved on it. They've already actually changed it, and they don't want to. They're going to show it again when it's in its final phase. I see.
Okay.
So
I mean that's cool with me. I trust them.
One thing about that trailer that actually kind of disappointed me was, I mean, I don't know why they did it, but they showed the characters in the previous trailer, and then, I mean, we don't know for sure, but it looked like that guy died. Jackie died. Your friend.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like, I mean, they kind of if they revealed a really, I don't know. I guess it's gonna. It sounds like it's gonna happen early then, based off of that trailer, because I don't see that being. If that's an end game thing, then that's not gonna really create much tension when that happens. Now
I want to know how much of a piece Keanu Reeves has in the story. If he's just like a quick side character, or if he's
it looks like he's the replacement for that. He's going to become your partner after that guy dies. After Jackie dies.
I hope so. That'd be super cool.
That's what it looks like they're doing. But then
I'm
it's like, why?
So I'm like stoked.
I've not seen John Wick 3 yet, so
Rich.
I haven't had time.
Next on Talk Movies, Rich finally sees John Wick 3.
We could do a talk movie segment. We
can.
We can do it. Yeah, there's so much that we can do with talk gaming. So
yeah. And if you have not yet, give us a subscribe, like, comment.
Oh, come on. Really? No. We're shutting that down. We're shutting that down now.
Shutting it down. But going forward to Bethesda's. I mean, overall, let's go back.
Well,
overall,
we still have to talk about Halo.
Scarlet. Halo, Scarlet, all that stuff. I mean, I guess I skipped over it because I was hoping for more for actual gameplay of Halo. Didn't get it. I was hoping to see what Scarlet looked like. We all know it's going to be super powerful. Yeah, and up to 120 frames and this and that. But I was like, just show me the controller, or show me.
Well, I think they're going to release the Elite version 2 probably with it, if I had to guess.
The Elite version 2 is going to be. I actually asked on Twitter. I asked Phil Spencer, and he responded. I said, "Is the Xbox Elite controller 2 going to be compatible with the new Xbox Project Scarlet?" And he said yes.
Yeah.
So because it's Bluetooth. So and I was like, sweet. So yeah, I actually.
So if he said, did he say specifically because it's Bluetooth that it's going to be compatible?
but I just figured because it's Bluetooth, you can just sync it because it's new. They're doing something different than they did before, where you can use it on anything, even a PC.
Right. I wonder if you'll be able to use it
without a dongle. I don't know.
I wonder if you'll be able to use it on the on the Xbox One right now.
He said any Xbox controllers right now, like even one controllers, are going to be compatible on the Scarlet.
But I wonder if Elite version 2 comes out, is it going to be PC and Scarlet compatible, but not Xbox One compatible?
No, it will, because it's coming out in early 2020, right? So it's going to be, or is it later this year? I don't remember. But that's coming out for this console. So for Xbox One, and then it's going to be able to be used with Scarlet.
I'm sure their controller is not going to change much. Their design, I mean, the design as it is from the 360 to now is very similar. So I don't see it really. The Elite version 2 obviously is going to have the most design changes. I don't think that Xbox One original controller to Project Scarlet's original controller is going to be drastically different. They're going to do improvements, hopefully internally, with what materials they use, because some of the stuff they used for the Elite version controller, I love that controller, but they were really cheap on some of the internals, like the L and R buttons. So it's basically like a teeter-totter, and it snapped on me twice now, and I've had to buy it. I'm going to buy a steel.
You're talking about the Elite controller?
Yeah.
Dude, I wish I had mine here. It's back there, but my Elite controller, both my what is it, LBRB?
Yeah, LBRB.
Popping off too.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. So
I heard you could take it in the Microsoft store and they'll replace it for you. But I don't know.
Let me go get mine. I actually had made a custom one.
What?
Yeah. So.
Here we go. Talk Gaming Podcast exclusive.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
So what I did with this controller is I had a Halo one, a collector's edition Halo Master Chief one. So I took the triggers of it, made them gold. I had this red faceplate here, and then I had to take the Master Chief edition LBRBs just for it to work. But if this snaps, I have to buy like a steel one that they're selling online because it's made out of plastic, and it's like you put pressure on one side. But the other side, if you play games like Dark Souls or Sekiro, you're hitting a lot of LBRBs.
Yeah.
And so you're putting a lot of pressure on those buttons, and then one just snaps because it's constantly creating tension. So, not a good design for that part.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, the games they showed were really cool. There's so many that through the little montage that they showed were awesome. So many coming to Game Pass, which I'm pumped for. I'm gonna have no life for the next year or 2 years.
Oh, I know. And now
I'm like, shit. Like all those games, like even Metro, they just dropped Metro on there, the new Metro Exodus on Game Pass. I was like, what strings did they pull for that?
Wow.
Like they would
have to pay a premium to that company for it to be free.
Because it's an Epic Games exclusive for a year. So I'm like, so was Outer Worlds. So I'm like, I think Outer Worlds was 6 months, but it's like what, like they are shaking hands somewhere back doors with these companies and with Epic Games to make this stuff possible. But I think it's really cool.
One thing we should touch on, because Bungie dropped some news during this time as well. So I just want to talk about Destiny 2 for a moment. Now that they've split from Activision, they're actually showing that they've split. They're implementing cross saves, not necessarily cross-platform, but you can, if you have Destiny on PC, you'll be able to migrate your character over to PC, which I am 100% going to do.
Oh yeah.
And I just like the way it's going, and I'm kind of hopeful now for Destiny as opposed to what it was before.
Watching the not Cataclysm, that's Anthem. Watching what's the new update called coming out? The new expansion they just dropped.
Shadowkeep.
Yeah, Shadowkeep,
Mm-hmm.
or was it Shadowkeep?
Yeah, Shadowkeep.
Um, Seeing that trailer was the first time in a while I got pretty excited for Destiny.
Yeah, so I just wanted to mention that really quick because it's worth mentioning just because if they can pull themselves out of that, that's incredible. And then
Yeah, I
they
mean they're
were
getting their creative freedom back. So, and I
yeah,
think he even
yeah.
said, was it at E3 he said this, or was it a different review, interview? He said that he's excited that they have their individuality back, and then they can make what they want to make. That's
Right.
what he said. Like
Uh,
low key punch below the belt to Activision, but I thought that was really cool. I'm
yeah,
like,
so
here we go.
I
Give
mean,
us the Destiny we wanted.
I really do hope that they can redeem themselves because that Destiny, like the gameplay is solid. They have a really solid foundation. They just haven't been able to get it quite right. You know, they've done a lot
Mhm.
of really cool things, but it's like every time they do a cool thing, they do a stupid thing, and that's it. And we'll now know if it's been Activision that's been responsible for the stupid things, and if Bungie can just only release cool things going forward. Like that'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
I agree. I mean, I love Bungie. I've loved Bungie since Pathways into Darkness, which was their first person shooter. Myth,
Yeah.
Marathon,
Hmm.
Halo, obviously, like all those. Like I've been a Bungie fan, lifetime
Yeah.
long Bungie
So I
fan.
want
Even
I
I
want
played
to.
those games on Mac, like the old
Oh,
iMac with the one cord. Was it
oh,
iMac? No, what was it called? I forgot what it was called. The one with like a colored back, and it was like a little looked like a little tube TV,
oh
and you
no!
had like the one cord. I forgot what it was called, but I was playing the old Bungie games on that thing,
Dang.
but I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be
But
cool.
so Microsoft conference overall is pretty good. I wish they showed more gameplay, um,
Yeah,
and stuff
there was a
like
lot of
that.
cinematic trailers.
Yeah, a lot of cinematic trailers, but I mean overall, I think it was pretty cool. So I'd probably give it a B.
Oh, we're gonna rate them.
Yeah.
Um, well, I'm gonna hold off on my rating because I skipped through just to watch the world premieres. For the
Yeah.
most part, I
I
did.
mean, you pretty much you didn't really miss anything
Uh,
besides we here at Xbox. We're really excited for the future. You know that kind of shit.
right,
So
right.
I mean, we want to see the games. You know.
But I did watch all of
How do you feel like they
Devolver's.
delivered then out of A through F? How do you feel like they delivered on their games?
So okay, I mean, a lot of the stuff they showed are games that are going to be available on multi-platforms. We saw Gears 5, we saw Halo, we saw a cinematic trailer for Gears 5, we saw a cinematic trailer for Halo Infinite.
Mhm.
But I didn't really see much anything. We saw Ori and Will of the Wisps.
Yeah.
That was a gameplay trailer. They showed a lot of like monsters and like big boss creatures, which was cool. But I didn't
Mhm.
really see anything that would say outside of Gears 5 and Halo Infinite that says you need to own an Xbox because those games will also be available on PC. And
Or
they will
PS4.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
But in regards to
Some of
Halo
them on
Infinite,
Switch. Yeah.
in regards to Halo Infinite and Gears, those are going to be PC titles going forward. So they really have to justify, and that's what they're doing with the Game Pass. I mean, do they Xbox Live Gold and Game Pass are two separate things, right?
Yes, but they're also now combining them into Game Pass Ultimate, which is $15 a month, which
Yeah.
also gets you access to Game Pass PC. The way it's a lot of weird. It's really
Yeah.
weird how they set it up because I have Game Pass. I also have a PC, but I also have Xbox Live Gold. So now I'm thinking like, wait, so I already paid for a year of Xbox Live. I already paid for Game Pass. Like I think I paid the 120 or whatever it was, like in advance
Hmm.
to have a full year. So if I want to upgrade to Ultimate, do I have to pay? How does that work to get it on PC? Because I think it's an amazing idea that they're collaborating with PC to bring, because they already do that with backward, or what's it called, Play Anywhere, Xbox Play Anywhere, where you can play
Yeah.
like Gears of War and Sea of Thieves, stuff like that on your PC if you have it on Xbox.
And
I
you
think
can
that's awesome.
and you can play
But
those because those are Xbox exclusive games. You can play with people on Xbox on your PC.
yeah, super
That's really
cross-platform
cool.
is amazing. I like the fact that they're diving into that more,
hmm So
and they're merging those communities. But
I don't think like right now I wouldn't because I have a pretty good PC and you have an Xbox. There's no
mhm.
real reason for me to purchase one if I can just buy the 2 or 3 games I want on their platform and still play them with you. You know,
Yeah.
as opposed
I
to
think their biggest selling point is going to be, hey, listen, if you have friends on Xbox and that don't have a PC, buy our game on the Microsoft Store on PC. So if you do want to move to the Xbox and play with them, you can also play it there.
you'll
I
then
think that's
have
their
it.
major
Yeah.
selling point, which works for me because that's basically both of our situations. We both have friends on here and there that play on both, and I think it works out for both.
Right. Right.
That's my opinion. But I mean, I don't know. It doesn't. You know me. Sometimes I like to sit on the couch and play games. It's a comfy
Well,
couch. You can see it. I
yeah,
like to
yeah,
sit
yeah.
there, prop my feet up. I have a little chase at the end there. I like to just lay there like a giant sack and just play games. But sometimes I like to be in the PC and I like to feel the power. So I
Oh,
like the fact that I could switch between them. And like, I do that with Sea of Thieves. Sometimes I'll play on either or Gears of War, depending on how I'm feeling. I'll just sit here, feel the power of the PC, go over there, feel the power of the relaxation. So,
gotcha.
um, yeah. But overall, yeah, I think Microsoft's conference was pretty good. I didn't think it blew me away. I think it was pretty
It
average.
was solid. It was a solid. It
Yeah,
was a solid showcase.
it did what it was supposed to do, I think.
Definitely.
But
But
at a Bethesda's conference.
okay,
Oh,
okay.
Rich.
So
All right.
Bethesda. Okay, I'm gonna start off with some positive things first because you have to be positive.
Okay.
But there were two new IPs that were interesting. What was it? Ghostwire? Is that what it was? And then
Um,
or was
I just had it pulled up here. I was reading an article on it.
I have to look at it again. And then there was Deathloop.
It was the one that they showed. They showed. It was a CG trailer.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean new IPs are always cool. We didn't see any gameplay from either of
yeah.
them, but
Deathloop. Yeah.
but when they bring out Todd Howard, they should only use Todd Howard to announce a new Fallout game
They should
or
have
a
skipped
new
out on
Elder
Todd Howard
Scrolls
this
game.
year. I think they should have. I think they should have skipped out on Todd Howard this year, or have him deliver like an actual sincere apology for what happened with Fallout 76.
Right.
But what they basically said was they just gave something that didn't have any heart. They just said like, and like I don't feel like I'm entitled to anything. I don't think anybody is, but I feel like if you make us a giant promise like you did with Fallout, and then you kind of backpedal and you screw everyone over how you did, I think that game was just a giant scam. And then you don't deliver on the canvas bags and the updates and this and that you promised.
Right.
I think you owe your fans. You've lost all credibility from the community. The gaming community lost all, I guess, passion, care. So I think you need to rebuild that. And I think that their apology didn't seem like an apology, but they're just like, we're really sorry, but please give it another chance. By jumping into this game. It doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah,
So
and it was kind of weird how
feel very
everyone.
sincere.
It didn't feel very sincere when everybody cheered for Fallout 76 when Todd Howard mentioned it, because as far as I can tell, most of the people are still disappointed with the experience they've had on Fallout 76. So.
Yeah, I have it on Xbox. Me and Brandon got into it because we got it for like $10 each, and we're like, why not? Screw it. It's another game we can play in the weekend. Let's try it out. And we jumped into it, and I think we stopped playing after like several hours.
No, I mean it's totally possible.
Broken mess. Quests not completing, just absolute disaster. And I'm like, so you're gonna drop a fucking this is where I get pissed, Rich. You ready? This is where they like, instead of fixing the game that you have and making it better to attract new players, instead you're gonna rope them in with a battle royale that's gonna be absolutely atrocious. How are you gonna do that instead of actually fixing the game that you released that's not completed yet? First of all, there's still a bunch of content missing that they promised. It performs like a dog's ass. Like, how are you gonna bring in a battle royale mode to that? It's like polishing a turd, like with the game mode that's on its way out, and it's just like, I'm like, God.
I mean,
the fact that it's free doesn't do anything for me. So
no, yeah, I never got into battle royale modes and stuff like that. And it's possible that the people that were cheering for Fallout 76 were actual real fans and legitimately excited about the franchise.
I think the people in the crowd were placed there. I don't think they were all. That's what I think.
It's hard not to
wine and dine by
that.
Bethesda. They were wine and dine by Bethesda. That's what they do. Where they fly these people in, they wine and dine them, they give them behind the scenes stuff, pay for their hotels, and they throw them in the front row, and they go crazy.
Yeah, and they say cheer. But I mean, it's hard not to believe that when E3 has been mostly, until recently, only open to the press and the media.
Yeah.
So, and if you pay people for positive coverage, you get positive coverage.
Here's me at the Bethesda conference, Rich. This was me. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Just looking at
the whole time. That was me the entire time, the entire conference.
See, during the Microsoft conference, there were like when I saw Tales of Arise, I was like, yes.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Bethesda,
I was excited for when I saw the new IPs, but we didn't see any gameplay. Doom is the best thing they showed.
The thing is, here's like my overall impressions of the conference, so we can skip through it because it just makes me angry. But Fallout 76, cool. You're bringing NPCs back. That should have been done at launch, but whatever. Good for you.
Mobile games.
Hopefully it takes off. That's the thing that pissed me off is how are you going to start your conference off by giving a half-ass apology for a game that nobody cares about anymore, that you burned, right? You lost all community good faith from that. And then you're going to go talking about your shitty mobile game that is so predatory with their loot boxes and their microtransactions and their paywalls, and you're going to bring that to Switch? Like, that's one of my main concerns is like is that gap between console PC gaming, like actual gaming, to mobile gaming needs to stay like that. Because once we start seeing those practices that you get in mobile gaming, like you did in Battlefront 2, Fallout 76, with their microtransactions and loot boxes, that's when shit starts to get really bad. and that's what's been happening. And
Yeah,
I think
no.
it's a snowball effect. And once they announced that for Switch, I was like, no, no! Like I lost it. I was like, you can't be serious. Like that game does not belong on a Switch.
Well,
Like
I would argue
what the
that
fuck, dude?
honestly, I would argue that mobile games have a place on Switch just because of its mobile nature. I'm saying like it's a smart move from a business standpoint to put it
Oh,
on the
business
Switch.
standpoint, 100%, and it's
Yeah,
free. You beat, but
yeah. Do I
it's
like it
not.
as a
Have you
gamer?
played it?
No,
Have you played Elder Scrolls?
no.
Because I'm level
Yeah,
40 something in that game.
look.
Like,
I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, I'm sure, but I am not a fan of the Elder Scrolls series. I like the lore.
Rich.
I like the
All right,
world.
we're done.
I cannot do the gameplay. I can't do the gameplay of Elder Scrolls 5.
I know you like your game. You like your sword play. You like those combos and hardcore shit.
Yeah, I mean, I got into it way too late. I played Elder Scrolls 5 for the first time after I played Demon Souls, after I played, Dark Souls 2 or Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 and all those games. Then I went back because I didn't actually get into the modern era of gaming until I bought a PS3, and the first game I got on PS3 was Demon Souls. So that's and I like the real-time action combat. And I was like, oh, Elder Scrolls 5 is basically like that, but in first person, right? So I got that, and I was like, no, it's not. It's not quite. It's not smooth like
No,
that.
it's right trigger, left trigger block or cast, right trigger hit or cast.
You know what? I tried. I downloaded it. I bought it again for PC, when, and I modded it, and I downloaded all those combat mods and stuff like that. But it's just the animations that I cannot get behind.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls 6, when that comes out. If they do their due diligence and they make the combat amazing in that, and they make it anything like Dying Light, it's like, I'm just talking about the smoothness of Dying Light, but obviously I'd want more diversity in weapon types, magic, things like that. But if they can get it as smooth as Dying Light or Dishonored in terms of the animations and the blocking and like the death blows and things like that I'll get in. That'll be amazing. But I think I just got into it a bit too late. Just a bit too late.
I mean, I personally love Elder Scrolls. I loved Morrowind so much. I liked Skyrim a lot. I bought it, I think, on PS4, Xbox One, 360. I think I have it on PS3. I have it on Switch, PC. Okay. So, like, yeah.
Do you have the Alexa version where you can play it via text?
Is that a thing?
I think so.
I thought that was like an April Fool's joke.
I think it was a joke, and it turned into reality.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so, Ghostwire Tokyo looked. I mean, I don't know shit about it. They didn't show anything. They showed like
it looks cool.
So I'm gonna hold my opinion back until I see something. It's a cool concept. Yeah, so that's all I can really say. Like, thanks for that. But they didn't really have anything else to show. Like, I thought they were gonna announce another Evil Within, or show something from Elder Scrolls 6.
From the creator of Evil Within, right? Ghostwire. Yeah. So he's.
I thought they were gonna announce another Evil Within or something like that. So I was like, yeah.
You know what I thought was a weird choice? To announce DLC for a game at E3. Like, I like Rage 2. Yeah. It's fun so far. I'm enjoying the gameplay. But announcing DLC for an already released game seems like a waste of a time slot.
I mean, when you don't have anything else to show, and that's the climate of the industry now. It's just DLC add-on.
I don't think
live service.
Yeah, but their conference this year didn't need to have a conference this year. They could have done a Bethesda Direct with what they had to show.
Yeah,
they literally could have.
That was the thing, is that I was pretty disappointed that they just name dropped Elder Scrolls and Starfield just to be like, hey, keep watching, maybe we'll show something, but they never did. So I was pretty bummed out on that. Like, you could show something for Elder Scrolls 6. Like, I know that they're saying that it could be a 10-year game, which just worries me because that's what they said about Destiny and Anthem. So hopefully they're not pushing live service stuff. But at the same time, it's like, you could show something, even if it's 2 years out. Just give me a taste. You've already announced it last year. You showed like a cinematic overview.
Yeah, they shouldn't have announced it last year if they didn't think they were going to be able to produce enough gameplay or content or assets to show something at the E3 the following year. That's what you should do. You announce a game, and then the next year you show the gameplay of it, and then the following year it's out. That's how it should be, in my opinion, if you're going to be doing big releases like that. Yeah. Ideally, when you would actually just show the game when it's ready. And say Elder Scrolls 6 out tomorrow, or out in 3 months, or whatever, like they did with Fallout 4. I don't know, like that's what. But that was really
cool. I remember that.
Yeah, I do understand.
Like, it's out 4 months from now, or 6 months from now. Whatever
exactly.
It was. I was like,
awesome.
Oh shit!
Everything should always.
I think it was
be
like 3 months, 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, it was nuts. But I know that they can't do that with every game because these things take years and years to develop, and people do get they get impatient as to when the next one's coming out, because Skyrim's been out it's been remastered so many times. It was released so long ago now, so they did need to say something. Yeah. But they shouldn't have said anything until they had more.
So I
A
sent
little
out a
bit
tweet.
more.
You know what really grinded my gears about the Bethesda conference?
What?
How they announced the collector's edition for their Doom helmet,
Oh,
the
but they
helmet,
haven't
but they
actually.
haven't even
Yeah.
shipped the Fallout 76 canvas bags yet, Rich. They still people still they got their nylon trash bags, and then they threw a fit about that because it was bullshit. It's not what they advertised, and they still haven't. People still haven't received their canvas bags, and they're trying to push more collector's edition stuff out the door. I'm like, oh, Bethesda, what are you
Yeah,
doing?
if you couldn't even ship a bag, how are you going to ship a wearable helmet?
Yeah, and that thing looked legit. Like if it actually looks how it showed, like that
That's what
dude
we
wearing it in
wanted
the
from the
crowd.
Master Chief helmet all those years
Yeah,
ago. Do we
I'm
still not
like,
have one of those?
I don't know, but I'm like, what are they doing? And then the drive on mobile that what was it, Elder Scrolls card game that they had on mobile? I forgot
Yeah,
what it
the
was called.
card
It was like Hearthstone with Elder Scrolls, and then they
was it
had
called
Commander,
Elsewhere? Was it
something like
Elsewhere?
that. No, Elsewhere is
Moons
the
of
expansion for Elder Scrolls Online.
No, but I thought
Elsewhere.
it was called like the Moons of Elsewhere or something
I
like
don't know,
that.
dude. I tuned out at that point, and then once they announced Blades, or they started talking more about Blades, and then they talked
X
about
Blades.
that Elder Scrolls card game, and then they talked about Commander Keen, like bringing
Oh,
that back because that
Commander
was an old
Keen.
one, and
Yeah.
it's a mobile, and I was like, oh, for what are you
Yeah,
doing,
when I saw that it
guys?
was, I was like, "Oh, Commander Keen, this could be cool." And like, so it's a mobile game.
Like,
Oh,
yeah, like take all that mobile shit out and announce that at South by Southwest or like some other convention, but don't put that in E3. Like
yeah, don't
it's like
mobile
when you
Keen
announce
should not.
we drop bombs, you know what I mean? Like, and they talked about
Yeah, they
Rage
can.
2, which came out already, and it was just
Mhm.
okay. And they talked about Doom, like which is like a what is it called? Far Cry New Dawn expansion type game. I'm just like they didn't
Well,
really have anything to show.
Doom Eternal is a full blown
No, I'm talking
sequel,
about
but then
Wolfenstein. Sorry, Wolfenstein.
oh, Wolfenstein, the
Like
Youngblood, right?
yeah, I haven't got to Doom yet, but Wolfenstein Youngblood and then Cyber Pilot, which is the VR version, which just looks kind of generic. But like
Yeah.
I would love Wolfenstein 1 and 2. I played the old Wolfensteins, played every one from Xbox original 360 to now. But I didn't really, haven't really cared much about the new one coming out, Youngblood. I mean, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna get it just because I love the gore and all that crazy shit. That's my
And
style.
it's co-op. That's cool.
Yeah, but they showcased it more than they should have because it's already been announced. We've seen gameplay. Like it was something that I think
Yeah.
announced last year, right?
Yeah, they did.
Maybe. So it's
I
just
think,
like
yeah.
we don't need to see that again. But they didn't. Again, it was just filler. They didn't really have much to show. Doom Eternal looks amazing. I'm definitely getting that day one,
Yeah, Doom
but
Eternal looks
they
really
didn't
good.
need to
And then the
spend that much time on it.
yeah, because again, we knew it was coming.
We knew what we're getting. We've
I
seen
mean,
it. We've played Doom, the last Doom, 2016.
the things that we actually should have been more excited on, that they should have dedicated more time to, would have been Ghostwire.
Things that they didn't announce already last year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I still think their best show was when they announced Fallout 4 and released it 4 months later.
Yeah,
That
I
was
think that was the best move.
that was I think that was the
I
best
feel like
show.
that. I feel like that Bethesda's gone. So overall, I mean, for the Bethesda conference, I thought it was a train wreck. I think the crowd thought it was a train wreck that wasn't shilling out in the front going like that crazy
but yeah,
guy.
so this poses a totally like this poses a question. Do we need big gigantic press conferences every year? I don't think we do, because there's no way that Bethesda could have 6 new games already almost done, ready to go in the following year. They don't have that much stuff to announce. They should do a press conference every 3 years or something when they have almost all the games done in development. Because next year,
that's a topic of discussion, like maybe for another video. But is E3 dead or is it dying? Like it's definitely not. I think it's dying.
I don't think E3. Okay, I think E3 as a yearly event is dying. I think E3 is like an Olympic event every 4 years. I think that's where it can shine.
Yeah, because I agree because the development cycle now is a lot longer than it was back 10, 20 years ago when they were running E3. Because E3's been around, what, 25 years now? So I think it's the relevance of it is still there. It's just the fact that people aren't prepared. And then they have things like Anthem come around where like even BioWare had no idea what they were making because it was only on the drawing board. And
they
then
they only developed it for like 18 months. That's all they had.
Video at E3, and then BioWare goes, "Oh, that's what we're making." And so it's like there's just and like that's not. I mean, it is partially both EA and BioWare's fault, but at the same time, it's just like, do we need a yearly E3 conference? Like that's the thing.
Not every year. No,
I don't.
No,
at this
not
point,
anymore.
I think it should be yearly. I mean, we have what Gamescom, we have PAX, like we have all these other conventions. South by Southwest, they announce games at Comic-Con. Even sometimes they announce games or show games, but like, I mean, E3 shouldn't. Maybe it shouldn't be a yearly thing. I don't know because I mean, this was a pretty good showing of that because Scarlet wasn't ready. Halo 5 wasn't, or 6 wasn't. Was it 5 or 6? I don't even know anymore. Halo 6 wasn't ready to be shown. You know what I mean? Like they didn't really have anything. besides stuff that we already know is coming. So I was just
Yeah.
kind of like, this is stuff that you announced last year. Like,
Uh,
but I mean, overall, Bethesda conference, I would probably give it a D, honestly.
a D.
I just hated it. I hated the mobile push. I hated the fact that they spent games on so much time on games that we already know are coming out that they've shown already. I don't like the fact that they're pushing the half-ass apologies and pushing the mobile shit out. I just hate that because I think it's a snowball effect that leads to worse things. That's my opinion.
Yep. And then I mean, I'd agree with you there. They didn't have a very strong showing. It was pretty much everything they already knew that was coming. A lot of mobile games, 2 interesting IPs that they barely even touched on. Because there was no ready to show gameplay for it. So yeah, honestly, they didn't even need to be there. They could have just sent an update video that was 30 minutes long or something for that.
I mean, I'm glad that they're making strides with Fallout 76, but I think that they spent way too much time, assets on making a battle royale than they could have put into fixing their game, because there's no way, if you played that on, I have a Xbox One X, there's no way, and a PC, and I've seen it on both, because I played it on both, but there's no way that game should be running like it does on even an Xbox One X or even a PC. It just, like, you should spend more time optimizing, releasing HD texture packs, something to make that game look like it was made in end of 2018 rather than 2013. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. That's the one thing with Bethesda. Bethesda's main games like Fallout, they always look a generation behind.
Yeah.
So that's,
I don't know. And I know there's a lot of moving parts in those, but I mean, you see other, like, look at God of War. I know it's not nowhere near as many moving parts, but Jesus, that game looked insane.
You know I know. They could. I mean,
a lot to it.
Not even just that, but even look at Destiny. Like, Destiny has, I mean, in terms of the content, yes, I get that people are disappointed in terms of how they operate their game, but in terms of how it actually performs, it's got great stability. It's got good art design. I mean, you have a lot of moving parts on screen at once with a lot of players happening, and it looks good doing it.
Yeah.
So obviously that infrastructure can be there. It's just now we want to have a good game and the good infrastructure.
Yeah.
But it's very tough. Like, I do get it. Having both can be very difficult to obtain.
Yeah. So overall, Bethesda for me.
Yeah.
What about for you? Are you giving it a?
I'm giving it a.
No.
I'm giving it a try better next year.
Try better luck next year.
No, right. Try better.
Last but not least, oh my gosh, Devolver Digital. Did you watch that?
I watched it. I actually saw that one live as it happened.
Yeah, me too.
So
it's
Devolver Digital. It was a Devolver Direct, and it was like a satire on what's been going on in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
They're not wrong.
You know what I'm really excited for, though? No, they're not wrong. I mean, it's their style.
Yeah.
And it's hit or miss depending on your personality, I guess.
Yeah, they're not wrong. Are they funny?
It was
not
funny
in
pieces, but it was just like, it was purposely cringy, but it was cringy to where you couldn't stop watching it because it was just so weird.
It was like it was watching this whole like train wreck unfold, and then and then rewinding it, and then happening and it happening again.
Yeah.
And over and over and over. And then there was some sort of weird pre-show right afterward that
don't even.
I turned that off. I was like, what is this? What is this? I was like, what's happening?
I was watching it. I was like, this is like a really budget. I mean, Eric Andre show is budget, but this is like a budget Eric Andre.
It reminded me of the Jamie Kennedy thing years ago when he was just drunk. I feel like that they just took that moment and they're like, let's make that a show. And they were. That's just what I feel like. That's what
that was awful. But I'm really excited for a couple games that looked really cool in Devolver Digital's conference. Was the one, I forgot what it was called, where they said that you're on the evil side and you're like that blob.
You're the monster. Yeah,
you're the monster. And you're that blob that's like sticking to everything and stuff like that.
Cool.
And you're like sucking people up. I thought that was pretty sweet because it's like an experiment gone wrong. But instead of, they said that you're on the other side of it. You're like the horror part of the horror game.
Yeah, a reverse horror
game. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's awesome. So
that is cool.
Like that blob and just take it over.
And then actually what they could do with that is, since you've played as the blob, they could have you play as a survivor, and you know what the blob can do because you were the blob, and you'd be terrified because you know what you did to people.
Yep. Imagine that just going first person shooter, and you're like in a narrow corridor with like lights, like flashing alien style, and then obviously like and then you see the blob just coming at you like every time the light passes, it gets closer and closer.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh shit! Like
There's like
that'd
a
be really
guy in
cool.
front of you, and you just like see like the light pans over him. You see him get ripped in half, and then it's dark, and you're like, oh
Yep.
god.
Yep.
Yeah,
And then
good stuff.
the most exciting game I'm excited for, and the fact that it's right around the corner, I think June 20th, is My Friend Pedro.
Oh, the
That
one
game
where
looks
you
awesome with the banana, the
yeah, yeah,
Matrix
yeah.
John Wick, the Matrix John Wick,
But we knew
Max
about that
Payne looking
before.
game.
They announced
Yeah,
that before, so we've known
yeah.
about that
Right
before.
before E3, they dropped that it was coming out on the 20th. So I'm definitely getting that because that's my type of game. I really like that kind of like
Yeah, and
Hotline
they're
Miami, but it's not Hotline Miami. It's like that. You got to get through it, get a rating. You know, your time. You got to get the coolest kills, stylish kills possible.
it looks cool.
So,
I'm waiting for them. Have they made anything that's like AAA? Devolver Digital? Are they? They're pretty much.
not
They're
AAA. They're
they're
more
pretty
of an
much
indie.
like, yeah, they're more of like an indie 2D, style gaming, like
Yeah,
right now. I'd be interested to see them actually go into like even double A, even something like Senua, like that,
yeah.
that kind of thing
Like Ninja
would be really
Theory.
cool. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I feel like they could do really well in that market.
yeah. Me
But
too.
in
But
terms of their video presentation, like their games are solid, but their video presentation,
so,
it's
I was like, good God.
yeah,
What was the
yeah.
arcade cabinet thing that they had? Was it like
Is
they're
that even
legit
real?
selling an
Are
arcade
they,
cabinet? That's
I
the thing
don't
is their
know.
conference was so fucking
I don't
bonkers
know. I
that
don't know.
I was like, what's real and what's not real? What's like legit? What's a legit game and what's
I
not a
don't
legit
think
game?
that was real because there's no way that's gonna do well. There's no
I
way.
don't know.
I don't.
Like I'm looking up right now and I don't like
No,
people
because
are
you
like
could.
everyone's confused.
Your PC is an endless arcade. I don't. There's no way. Like I don't.
Yeah,
I don't get it. Unless that would be a cool idea, an arcade cabinet style gaming PC,
yeah,
and like you just boot up the arcade.exe and all your games are there, and you play them like that, and it's in this cabinet. And it's
yeah.
got the uh, but it's if they were gonna build it, it sounded like it would just be the one game on that arcade.
Yeah, and going back
So
to what you're saying, because I looked up that arcade cabinet and this popped up. A bunch. I think you've played more of their games than you realize that are AAA, like Shadow Warrior, Absolver. Didn't you play Absolver? That was Devolver.
no, I
You
did
didn't play
not play
Absolver? Oh, that was
Absolver.
Bob. No,
I
um,
have it downloaded. I haven't played it.
no, but
And
I
then
liked Devolver Digital, so that's why I stuck around for their conference, even though it was super weird.
oh,
But like
there.
I got Scum on PC. It was like that open world survival game. It didn't do super well, I don't think. Hotline Miami, love Hotline Miami. Um, Broforce Ruiner. Like I
But
played
do
all
they
those, beat all those, love
but
them.
did are they actually the developer for that, or did they produce
They're the
those
publisher,
games?
publishers.
Publisher.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're a publisher.
That's
They're not a developer.
gotcha.
But
That
yeah, so
makes
I
more
mean, they have
sense.
some good games like Scum, Hotline Miami, Absolver. Ruiner was the latest one. I think that was the one I really like. That really cyberpunk '80s looking top down, where you're like the dude with the glass face with like he projects his emotions on there and stuff. I don't know if you
Oh,
knew that.
that's
It was like it's like
no,
yeah,
I've
it
not
was pretty
seen.
sweet. It's like a top down game. It's on
Didn't the
Xbox
makers of
and
Hotline
PC.
Miami make a ninja game where you like kill someone in like a second with a katana, or is that a different? Because it looked like Hotline Miami but ninja.
I don't
Or what?
know.
Does that sound
Um,
familiar to you? Well, okay, I'll
maybe.
look that up later. It looked interesting. It released very recently, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that pretty much wraps up day one. I guess we could talk about Stadia really quick just to end this whole thing. If you want.
Oh, Stadia.
What do you think? I mean,
I mean,
we
I'm
could talk
gonna-
about Bethesda's Orion. How about that? Is that Bethesda?
Okay.
That's Bethesda, right? Yeah, Orion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
They're like, hey,
I don't- I mean,
Stadia,
I don't know.
hire us. Hire us, Stadia.
Hey, over
Stadia.
here. I don't
Yeah.
really know what it is. Like,
Orion? Orion is it sounds like it's an algorithm that is designed to boost performance specifically for games that are streaming, and you can put it into your game. So it sounds like it's an encoder that encodes your game and just does everything properly when it detects that you're streaming it out for performance. That's what I gleaned from it. Obviously, I don't know all the details about it because they made it very vague, but that's what I put together in my brain is how I think it works. Because they said it can be incorporated into any game, and it's very light, is what they said. So, I guess it boosts performance and it'll allow people to get 4K or 1080p gaming or whatever at very low bandwidth.
I just don't know if
So-
it's going to work with Stadia and with Microsoft streaming service.
I would think that
Azure.
Google would already have a program very similar to Orion running and require all the games that are going to be on Stadia to already have that implemented in.
I have no idea. I don't have an opinion because I need to see it. I need to see what it does.
I need to actually test it out myself.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do that Doom thing and see if I can download it from my computer and play it through their streaming service and
Yeah.
see if I'm actually getting 4K 60 FPS and it looks as good as it does when I run it 4K 60
Oh, we'll be
FPS.
doing that, and you'll get
Oh,
first coverage here at Talk Gaming, baby.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But
If
I mean,
Stadia works
Stadia.
though,
I
if
mean,
Stadia
Stadia is a
works,
really cool concept, but the problem is that
input lag. It's just input lag. Will it actually will I be able to play and will it be lag free in terms of my actual performance? Probably not. There's probably going to be still something no matter what you do because
yeah.
it has to go somewhere else, transmit that and transmit it back.
But if you
Isn't
notice
it?
too, is if you look at the side by side video that they showed of Assassin's Creed Odyssey running on Stadia, this shit like it looks 4K, but the textures looked worse on Stadia. So I'm
Of
like, okay,
course,
cool.
because
So
it's being streamed.
Are you streaming are you streaming a game running at medium settings in 4K 60 frames? Like, why would I do that rather than play it on Ultra on the PC on my PC where I could do it in 4K 60
Well,
frames?
because
And also,
Ultra
what's the
would
input lag
cost
like?
you, yeah.
And I saw some videos of a guy actually playing it it looked like there was some input lag, like noticeable.
Right. Also, how
So
far away are their servers from E3? How far are
mhm.
they pinging them from? Are they pinging a server that's much closer to E3 to get the best performance? And would I have a server as close to me as they did have at E3 so that I could get the same performance, or would I have to go farther because of my area? Those
Yeah,
kinds of things are also questions. Uh, but
and Xbox is making it a hard sell, like the Google Stadia hard sell with their service because it's going to be free,
right.
and you can and anything you buy on Xbox or PC digital that's in the Microsoft Store, you can stream anywhere,
Right, but
anytime on Wi-Fi. So
Stadia doesn't require you to have a Titan or a 2080 Ti to run everything in 4K 60 FPS, and it's a much cheaper alternative for people
yeah,
that just want to game on everything. They can
I
game on
mean,
their phone, they can game on their laptop, they can game on pretty much any device that they can connect a Google account to.
yeah, I mean,
So
Shadow is very similar. Shadow's on PC. It's like the virtual desktop. One of our friends has it, and he uses it all the time for PC gaming when he plays with us, and it works great for him. There's very minimal input lag, latency, stuff like that. He says it's not even noticeable. But I mean, I'm just hoping if anybody could do it, it's Google, and I want it to be good because I want it to be a competitor. But at the
we'll
same time,
see.
they're making it a very difficult sell, especially if it doesn't look as good as if I run it on my PC, and I could just do the same thing from my Xbox. Like,
Right. For
so,
people like us, we already have integrated PCs. We just have to upgrade them, which can be expensive,
but
but
even still, if you
we know
don't,
it's worth it.
even if you don't have one though, you can turn your Xbox into a dedicated server. That's what
Right.
they're pushing with their streaming service. Microsoft is they're like, oh, don't have a PC, no problem. You
Yeah,
turn
we
your
could do that
Xbox into
too.
a server and you stream from your house or wherever your Xbox is to the Wi-Fi to your tablet or your laptop or whatever. As long as you're on Wi-Fi, have a
Mhm.
data plan. So I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I want Stadia to be good because it's really cool. Like, hey, Rich, you want to come over to my house? Just bring your controller. And then you bring
Yeah.
your Stadia controller. You plug your little, Chromecast Ultra into my TV or my other TV, and you game or just stream it to a tablet or something like whatever your
Right.
own
So I
laptop.
mean, it's
Like, it's
definitely
cool.
interesting. But
Yeah, I think it's like
how many games are going to be on there? Will all the new releases be on there? Will they have any exclusives going forward if it does well? Are they just going to be, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. Like,
they said
could
it's going
you?
to have over 100 games by the end of the year.
Yeah, but
Or
that's
by the
not
end-
really that. I
So
mean, 100. Yeah, I
100.
get that. It's not that many, so you're not going to be able to get every single game on Stadia. Maybe at some point you will, and then
Yeah.
if then it'll be worth it. But at 100 games that I probably already own most of them or have played
Hmm.
most of them, for already an established gamer, it's not going to be,
Yeah.
it's not
And
going to really
and then
work very
there's
well.
comes the question the data plan like data because nowadays they're putting data caps on internet. Or
Right.
they're charge you more like some I don't want to say the names but some providers will charge you more to if you go over your internet data limit or
I
they
think we
slow
know.
they slow
There's
your
only two real
or
providers,
they
Chris.
yeah, or they
You know
slow
what?
your or they cap
They
your
literally
internet and then
split the country in half, man.
yeah.
And they say you can't compete here, we can't compete there. We have a monopoly. We're good.
Yep, or they slow you down after a certain amount, and like Stadia takes up, I think it was over 64 gigabytes or some crazy shit like that.
Right, but
If you're playing in an hour at 4K, so I'm like, it's
oh,
gonna,
because it's yeah, but yeah.
yeah,
So I
that's
mean
gonna destroy people's
that's another
plans.
question. Is it better on your data cap if you just download the game once and
Mhm.
it's yours and you download the updates, which but they're small, and then you don't do any data unless you're going online PvP or whatever. But if you're playing
Yeah,
just a single player campaign, you're not using up your bandwidth. And
yeah,
that's another thing. If your internet goes down, you can't play the game.
yeah. And the other thing is that really worries me is the all digital transition. Like, I mean, I like digital for the convenience, but I also still like physical. I have two games on the way that are going to be here tomorrow in the mail.
Yeah, I still buy physical, like Final
I like
Fantasy. I
physical.
buy the physical copies.
Yeah,
Things like
I
because
like
my
collecting.
collection.
But
Hmm.
the thing is that if I have Stadia or if I purchase things digitally on PS Store, Xbox, whatever, even Steam, they can pull the plug on those immediately, and you can lose the license, and you don't have the game anymore. So
I
if I
wonder
want
how
to
that's.
go
Yeah, how
several
would that
years down the
work?
line, like it wouldn't. I mean,
If
once if Xbox decided to pull the plug on digital on Destiny 2 today because something happened, they don't want to work with Bungie Activision anymore or whatever, then you can't play that game. You lose the license. So
I feel like what they would have to do though is they would at least have to allow you a buffer of time to be able to download the game if you want to be able to play it because you purchased it. You know what
I
I'm
just
saying?
think
So
it's
if
just
you have the game
I mean
installed on your hard drive, you can
so
still play it. Doesn't matter if you're not connected to Xbox Live or something like that. You have it installed on the hard drive, you're good.
yeah,
You
it's
should
just
be
such
able.
a gray area because that could happen any
But
moment. And
yeah,
and
but
I
you
feel like
can't
when you have a
re-download it.
digital, you don't own anything. You don't actually own the game. You're
No,
borrowing,
it's
you're
yeah,
paying for the license. So
right.
like
Whereas with the physical disc, you can
that's my
pop it in
biggest
and you
problem.
play it.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
biggest problem with digital. All
but I
digital
mean,
age is that you
the
don't
same
actually own the games.
the same thing can be
So
said though if you own a game for 30 years and the cartridge is broken, it's gone.
yeah,
You know,
but I mean
it's a use.
that's a user problem.
I suppose, but it's still I mean, there's still always the possibility of losing your content, and I
Yeah.
mean, are you going to go back and play all your old games 30 years ago? Maybe you'll pop them in for as like a refresher and be like, oh, this was fun, I remember this. But chances of you going through it all over again and beating it, probably not going to happen.
Yeah. Depends.
I
They don't make
mean,
games like they used to anymore, where you can go back and pop in Super Mario Brothers 3 or
yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on NES and do the swimming level. You remember that swimming level?
Right, but
And
besides, again, look at that. All those old games you can download an emulator and play them. So 30 years from
yeah,
now, there'll be PS3 emulators, and you'll be able to download all the PS3 games. And there's already a PS3 emulator. I'm talking about I guess PS4 emulator, and that'll work flawlessly, and you can download your old games if you really really want to. I don't see that ever being a problem because people will always have the physical discs to then burn it, back
yeah.
into a digital file.
Yeah, so I mean, Devolver, they got their point across. It was very similar to last year. They continued the story that they had last year with
Yeah.
the
Oh yeah, yeah.
the
The
chick
Linda
getting
from marketing.
yeah,
Yeah.
getting put down on the table and all that covered in blood. Like, so they carried it up. That was pretty cool. I like how they're doing that. I like how they take
Yeah.
things differently and they don't take it too serious. I think the games are pretty cool. I mean, I really want my friend Pedro. I've been looking at that game for a long time.
When is
I
that
want
coming
another
out?
Hotline Miami. I want another one of those. June
I,
20th.
I
My friend
I
Pedro.
can't wait for the hype. I can't wait for iHeart Games. I think is that them. The people who made Hyper Light Drifter are making a new game,
Oh, okay.
and it looks really really cool. So I'll probably put the trailer for that in here too.
Yeah, sweet. Well, so overall, I mean, pretty average conference, but I mean, coming up next
Oh
episode,
yeah,
we'll talk about
yeah.
what we're doing today. So today, there's going to be Ubisoft conference, Square Enix conference, and they're going to announce a new Avengers game. There's so much stuff coming up. So I'm really
I know.
excited. So we'll dive into those and we'll talk about those next.
Oh
Have
yeah,
a video
I got
up.
a lot to talk about Final Fantasy VII. And
I know
stuff
you
too,
do,
so.
Rich.
Boom, boom,
I
boom.
know. But
Mhm.
other than that, yeah. If you guys have anything that you're excited for, throw it in the comments. Let us know. Let's chat. Let's talk gaming. That's what we're here for, right, Rich?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. But
See you
otherwise,
guys
we'll see
later.
you guys next time.